Hello again, welcome back. I've been doing this for a while now and I've never actually introduced myself. My name is Gay Jacob, and I live in a lovely city called New Plymouth in a beautiful country called New Zealand. And today I'm going to try another one of my mini colander pours. This time I've decided to limit it to 4 colours, and I want to just layer those colours until I get the amount of paint on the canvas that I want. Just bear with me, I can't remember, I think from memory my canvas size is 12 inches by 16 inches. So I'm going to start with my own mix of purple and white and a little blue to make a lavender. There is no iridescent added, just pouring medium. So I will start with that, and I'm going to run it into the centre and across the canvas. Oh, sorry, before I start, I've actually found out I can bring this a little bit closer, so I will do so. Right, I think I've got that sorted. So I will start pouring in the middle. I thinned out my paints slightly, but they are still also again slightly on the thicker side. Then I am going to pour Mars Black, also mixed with just Floetrol and pouring medium. I'm going to go around the side with the black this time. Just run it around the edges. And I'm going to follow that colour with yellow ochre, also mixed with a little orange and a little silver, as I found it a little too translucent. And I've added a bit of gloss medium to this as it was a matte colour. I wanted a bit of shine in it, so I again will just run it around the edge, just lightly, into the centre of the black. And I'm going to finish up with a little red before I start layering again. I will just drizzle a little red right round the edges. Okay, I'm going to leave that for a little while to settle now. I will be back soon and to add the colours again. The paint is definitely thinner than what I had last time. As you can see by the way it has unevenly spread, or possibly that's the way I put it in there. So I'm going to continue with what I was doing. I'm going to use black again. This time I'm going to pour black across the middle. So instead of going in, actually, no, I will start with this one, but I'll drizzle a little of it around the outside edges. Now the black from the middle. It's definitely thicker than the others. I think I'll be pouring quite a lot of paint off this time as well, but that's what I like to do with this colander, to spread everything out so I've got a good pour going on once I start to tilt. And so now I will put some more of the yellow ochre, again just around the outside. Oh. And red again from the middle. Okay, certainly does look different. I expected there, or hoped there might be a little bit more black in the mix, but I'm going to leave this now for a little while again, just to let the paint flow down, and then I'll be back to remove the mini colander and start tilting. Well, most of it the paint seems to have gone through the colander now, so I will gently lift it from the painting. I know it likes to grip hard. I want it straight up and off. I will now torch the painting, get some of those bubbles out. Okay, I'm trying to decide which way to tilt it first. So it's already gone over those edges, so I think I will probably tilt it in this direction. But I'm trying to decide whether I should put some edging paint on. I think I will in the corners to help it go over. And I've got some scrapings paint here left over from previous pours. So I will pop some of that onto each corner, just to help it to guide it around. Good. A little more across here. I must say I find the paint scrape up and pop aside very handy for doing that sort of thing, and it can be scraped up and reused over and over again, which is all very good. I just lose track of what's got dimethicone in it and yes, what it's going to actually do to my painting. So I'm going to start by taking off this corner. Bring it back down to the centre. This paint definitely is thinner than the last lot of paint that I used, and it definitely does make a difference as to how the paint moves around the canvas. And now this corner here. And take it back down to the centre. And down to this corner. And back to the centre. And the last corner here. And back to the centre. I've noticed the red has hazed a little, so I'm not sure why that is, but it's almost like a very fine lacing, so it'll be interesting to see what has formed that. But I'm definitely looking at taking the picture back down this way, so I'll turn it round. Before I go any further, I'll just wipe off my gloves, which are totally coated in paint, and then I am going to give it another torch, as I can see quite a few more bubbles coming through. And I think I'll take a little more off this corner here first. I'll take it down more towards the centre and just take a little more off this corner here. Paint's moving very, very quickly. It shows how thin it was in comparison to my last picture. And I'm actually quite liking that. Back to the centre. I think I'll take it down to this corner and then take off a lot of the yellow ochre down in this corner and then take it all the way back to the other corner again, because I'm very much liking that pattern display that I'm getting. Take all that off. And bring it back down again. Take a little of the cloudiness off this end corner here. Don't want to stretch it too much because the paint starts to separate and then I have huge problems. So I'll put that down so you can see it in the light. Turn it around and then angle it back down again towards this corner, just to take off some of the what I call egginess of the yellow ochre. Sorry, I don't know how much of that is in the camera. That will do on there. And bring it back down towards the centre again. And leave it like that. It's certainly very different to what I expected it to be. I'm not sure exactly what I think of it at the moment. There's a lot of different things going on in the picture with the what I call lacing, and very almost veiny look to the red. Okay, I'll give it another torch and then take the camera down and bring it in for a close-up. I won't do any more work on it today. So I will get some of these bubbles out now. Good morning everyone. Today I want to show you how I do transfers for temporary body tattoos onto some artwork. I have a painting that I did last week which was a little bit blah and rather than just paint over it to reuse the canvas, I thought I'm going to do some practice with some transfers onto the painting to see how they look. I've already tried it with a previous painting and was quite pleased. Actually two paintings which I will show you, but today I'm going to show you how I do it and see what happens. So just bear with me and I will put the camera down to the picture. I'm back again and I have brought in the paintings to show you that I've done previously. This one I did for my son. I wasn't at all happy with the red until it dried, and it wasn't quite so vibrant, but it will probably come out more vibrant once I've varnished it. But I called it Shark Attack because of the underwater theme that I felt that it had, and the fact that my son is such a keen fisherman. And I found some transfer body tattoos, temporary body tattoos of jellyfish. So I thought, I don't know how well you can see that. I'll move it around in the light to see if it gets picked up. And that is a jellyfish that I put on, the first one that I did, and unfortunately there are a few bubbles caught underneath it, so I might go through with a pin at some stage just to pop them. And then I did the other jellyfish, the second one, up on this corner here, and so that the picture could be hung either that way or this way, with the jellyfish on there, and I just thought it added an extra touch. Now the second one that I did was what I call Underwater Kindergarten. And when I did it, I fiddled around doing loops and all sorts of things on it, had a lovely time. And when it was dry, I thought I'm going to add a few transfers to this one, which I did. I've got the jellyfish again there, and I've got tiny little fish, I don't know how well you can see them, on here. Just little fish swimming all the way through, playing in the water, and as I said, I just call it my underwater playground fish kindergarten. So I was very pleased with the way that came out as well. I'll wiggle it round in the light a little. I'm not sure how much of that is, as I said, is coming on the camera. So there we are. It's very, very pretty. Now for the picture I want to do today, I've already started doing it. That was the picture as it came out. As you can see, it's rather a bit sort of messy and unusual, but I actually didn't really want to paint over it. I wanted to see what I could make with it. So I've got some spider temporary tattoos, which I decided I might like to put on the painting, and I'll call it my spider attack. So I've already got the attacking spider on this corner here, looking very ferocious and in attack mode. And then down on that corner over here, I've started putting the spiders that are about to be attacked, and I'm going to add more to them so that I can get quite a little spider army going against the attacker. So what I'll do is I will bring the camera in closely so that I can show you what I'm doing as I'm doing it. I'm sorry, you probably didn't get me cutting those up on camera, but yes, I just cut the strip. Okay, so I have a pipette, a cup with a pipette in it, with water, rather than pressing something down onto it that's wet, because it's a canvas. The transfers are designed, of course, to go on the skin, and so you're supposed to just press something, a wet sponge or something down on it, but skin's are different and more malleable than what the canvas is, so I prefer to use the pipette. So I will choose my spider. I'll choose Mr. Aggressive here. I'm going to turn him over and I'm going to pop him. I've got a little spider there, so I will pop him there, and I'm going to get my pipette and just put a few drops of water. This backing paper is very absorbable. I'm going to pop a few drops of water onto this backing paper. And it's moved slightly from where I wanted it, so I will just ease it back a little. And I'll just leave it sitting there for a little while I get another one. There's another very aggressive looking one, which I will pop over here beside the big one. I think I'll call it the wingman. It's going to sit right there. Now, while that one's drying, this one should be quite well soaked now. So I will just push it down with a damp, soft cloth. And there we are, lift it. Now I've got to check and see whether that has actually stuck to my canvas. No, not yet. So I give it another go. Takes a while to dislodge the transfer from the paper, I have found. So I've just got to keep trying. And the same with this one. I can already see it's going to need more water. The paper doesn't seem to be completely saturated, which means it won't separate from the transfer very easily. Push that down again. Now, here's the cloth again. And press it in hard here. And try again. Let's see if that has... Yes, there we are. My spider is now in place. So I give him a few wee dabs just to get off any of the excess moisture. And take this one up. I prefer to lift with my fingernails. I've tried with tweezers, but I feel like I have a better control of removing it. There we are. There is another spider ready to go. Good. Now I'm getting them done. Got the last one. I'm not going to use any more of them, even though I have another full sheet of them. I didn't want them to start doubling up to look similar. So that is looking good for what I wanted. Okay, so now just a very light tissue cover, very quick dab. Once again, thank you very much for joining me today. I've had a little bit of trouble with my editing. My battery, I think, might need replacing. It's just not lasting the distance and cutting out when I don't realise. Anyway, my picture is now done. My attacking spiders. So I'll just bring you in for a closer look very quickly, and I will see you next time.